Hello everyone and welcome back to this Python programming course where you are going to learn everything you need to get started programming in Python. In this video, we are going to look at tuples in Python. So let's jump right into it. A tuple is a collection of Python objects separated by a comma. In some way, a tuple is similar to a list in terms of indexing, nested objects, and repetition, but a tuple is immutable unlike lists which are mutable. A tuple is created by placing all the items inside parentheses separated by comma. The parentheses are optional, however, it is a good practice to use them. A tuple can have any number of items and they may be of different types. For example, we have different types of tuples: empty tuple, my tuple and with an empty bracket, print my tuple, tuple having integers, my tuple 1, 2, 3, print my tuple, then tuple with mixed data types, my tuple equals to mouse with the list 846 and another tuple 1, 2, 3, then print my tuple. So if we save this and run, so we have our empty tuple, then a tuple 1, 2, 3, and finally a tuple with mixed data types. A tuple can also be created without using parentheses. This is known as tuple packing. For example, we have my tuple equals to 3, 4.6, then doc. If we print my tuple, we have a tuple with 3, 4.6, and doc. On the other hand, tuple unpacking is also possible. So we have A, B, C equals to my tuple, and if I print A, I have 3, if I print B, I have 4.6, then C, I have doc. Creating a tuple with one element is a bit tricky. Having one element within parentheses is not enough. We will need to add a trailing comma to indicate that it is a tuple. So here we see that we have my tuple equals to hello, and when we print the type of our tuple, we see it is a string. To correct that, we simply have to add a comma after our value in the tuple. So we now have my tuple equals to hello with a comma. Then if we print the type of my tuple, we have tuple as the type. There are various ways in which we can access the elements of a tuple. We can use the index operator to access an item in a tuple where the index starts from 0. So, a tuple having 6 elements will have indices from 0 to 5. For example, we have accessing tuple elements using indexing. My tuple equals to cat, dog, mouse, rat, horse, and frog. If we print my tuple at index 0, we should have a cat, and then if we print my tuple at index 5, we should have frog. So if we save this and run, we have cat and frog printed to the screen. Trying to access an index outside of the tuple index range will raise an index error. The index must be an integer, so we cannot use float or other types. This will result in an error as well. For example, we have my tuple at index 7 gives tuple index out of range, and my tuple 2.0 tuple indices must be integers or slices, not float. Likewise, nested tuples are accessed using nested indexing as shown in the example below. So here we have n tuple equals to mouse, a list 846, and another tuple 1, 2, 3. If we print n tuple at index 0, 3, we have an S printed, and if we print n tuple at index 1, 1, we have 4 printed to the screen. Python allows negative indexing for its sequences. The index of -1 refers to the last item, -2 to the second to the last item, and so on. For example, we have negative indexing for accessing tuple elements: fruits, apple, banana, pawpaw, pineapple, orange, and kiwi. That's our tuple fruits. So if we print fruits at index -1, we have kiwi printed to the screen, and if we print fruits at index -6, we should have apple printed to the screen. So if we save this and run, we have kiwi and apple printed to the screen. We can access a range of items in a tuple by using the slicing operator colon. For example, we have accessing tuple elements using slicing. We have our tuple gitwocs. If we want to print elements from index 1 to index 3, we print my tuple 1 to 4, 1 colon 4. Elements from the beginning to index 2, we print my tuple colon 2 elements from index 4 to the end, we print my tuple 4 colon, an element from beginning to end, we simply print my tuple with a colon. So if we save this and run, we have ITW, GI, OCS and GitWorks representing the different operations we asked the compiler to do. Unlike this, tuples are immutable. This means that elements of a tuple cannot be changed once they have been assigned. But if the element is itself a mutable data type like a list, its nested items can be changed. We can also assign a tuple to different values. For example, we have my tuple equals to 4, 2, 3, then a list 6, 5. If we try changing the value of my tuple at index 1 to 9, my tuple index 1 equals to 9, we get tuple object does not support item assignment because a tuple is immutable. However, items of mutable elements can be changed. For example, my tuple 3, 0 is equals to 9. If we print my tuple, we see that 9 has taken the position of 6 in the list, which was part of the tuple, because a list is a mutable object. Besides that, a tuple can be reassigned. For example, we had our initial tuple, my tuple with 4, 2, 3, 9 and 5, but we just reassigned it with values 1, 2, 3, and when we print my tuple we have 1, 2, 3. As recently discussed, we cannot change the elements in a tuple. It means that we cannot delete or remove items from a tuple. Deleting a tuple entirely, however, is possible using the keyword del. For example, if we try deleting the element at index 3 in my tuple, we have tuple object does not support item deletion. But if we try deleting the entire tuple and we try printing the tuple later, we see that my tuple is not defined. We can use the plus operator to combine two tuples. This is called concatenation. We can also repeat the elements in a tuple for a given number of times using the star operator. For example, we have tuple 1, 2, 3 plus tuple 4, 5, 6, and when we print we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we have tuple repeat, which we multiply by 3, and then we have repeat, repeat and repeat. Using a for loop, we can iterate through each item in a tuple. For example, we have for name in the tuple John, okay, print hello name, and if we save this and run, we have hello John, then hello Kate printed to the screen. We can test if an item exists in a tuple or not using the keyword in. So for example, we have my tuple GITWOCS. If we print O in my tuple, we should have a true. If we print W in my tuple, we have a true. D in my tuple should give us false. Then P not in my tuple should give us a true. Methods that add items or remove items are not available with tuple. Only the following methods are available. For example, we have my tuple APPLE. The Python tuple method len returns the number of elements in the tuple. So printing len of my tuple gives us 5, telling us that there are 5 elements in my tuple. The tuple method counts the number of occurrences of a given value in the tuple. So we have my tuple.count p gives us 2. The index method gives us the index of the first occurrence of a value in a tuple. So we have my tuple.indexL gives us 3. The Python tuple method max returns the elements from the tuple with maximum value. For example, we have our tuple my tuple 145, 3, 105. If we print max of my tuple, we should have 100 as maximum number, and as you might expect, if we print min of my tuple, we should have 1 as minimum number. Lastly, we will look at the Python tuple method tuple, which converts a list of items into tuples. So we have a list 1, 2, 3, XYZ, Zara, ABC as our list. Then to convert this list into a tuple, we have a tuple, which is tuple a list, and when we print a tuple, we have our tuple printed to the screen 1, 2, 3, XYZ, Zara and ABC. This is basically it for this video, but before we end this video, I am going to place a practical exercise here for you to keep learning and implementing the concept of tuple. you just learned today. The link to the solution to the practical exercise is attached in the video description below. But before you check it out, make sure you try writing the code first. In our next video, we are going to look at dictionaries in Python. So, see you soon.